Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 12 in the NLT for August 12th, 2023. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. The Lord approves of those who are good, but he condemns those who plan wickedness. Wickedness never brings stability, but the godly have deep roots. A worthy wife is the crown for her husband, but a disgraceful woman is like cancer in his bones. The plans of the godly are just. The advice of the wicked is treacherous. The words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of the godly save lives. The wicked die and disappear, but the family of the godly stands firm. A sensible person wins admiration, but a warped mind is despised. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be self-important but have no food. The godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cruel. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, but the godly are well-rooted and bear their own fruit. The wicked are trapped by their own words, but the godly escape such trouble. Wise words bring many benefits, and hard work brings rewards. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. A fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. An honest person tells the truth. A false witness tells lies. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. Truthful words stand the test of time, but the lies are soon exposed. Deceit fills hearts that are plotting evil. Joy fills hearts that are planning peace. No harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth. The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Work hard, become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. Worry weighs a person down. An encouraging word cheers a person up. The godly give good advice to their friends. The wicked lead them astray. Lazy people don't even cook the game they catch, but the diligent make use of everything they find. The way of the godly leads to life. That path does not lead to death. There's only one footnote here. On 12:26, the godly give good advice to their friends. The wicked lead them astray. It says, or the godly are cautious in friendship, or the godly are freed from evil. The meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain. Didn't know if I was going to make it tonight. Had another one of those days after a couple of good days. I had just so much pain. Maybe it is from sitting. I decided to try to do something nice. Take everybody out for a nice meal at a restaurant. And man, we sat on some wood chairs. It just made everything so much worse. I was walking around the restaurant trying to stretch and this, that, and the other. So not feeling great. Then got jerked around by Uber. So I feel like I spent a lot of time and not make a lot of money today. That's what it is. I gave it my best effort. And then when I got home, I had to face a third degree about one of the kids. So I tried to help out with that, but man, worn out, y'all. I'm trying to love discipline, for sure. A long time ago, I learned to hate motivation. Motivation waxes and wanes. You need to cultivate discipline. Every day, a little bit of effort will get you there. A worthy wife is a crown for her husband. Yeah, facts. But a disgraceful woman is like cancer in his bones. I don't even want to dwell on that one tonight. Like my thing was yesterday and probably the day before, it's like, let's hit the high notes. I don't want to worry about what the wicked are doing. I see it. I'll watch it. You know what I mean? So let's focus on wisdom and righteousness and keeping good people around us. I don't know if I got much more gas in me, but might go continue to work for a little bit. Got to get up early for church. Got to get up extra early to make sure we have a decent breakfast, because we normally do like brunch, lunch with house church, and we're going to be fasting and praying tomorrow as a house church. So it's going to be a cranky afternoon with the kids, I'm sure. Is what it is. But pray, because we'll be praying. The words of the godly save lives. Tried to talk to a good friend of mine today. We both always shared our spiritual thoughts, but he kind of had it messed up. He was saying that Jesus never said he was the way. He said he was showing the way. I said, no, man, that's not true. That's not what Jesus said. Jesus said, I am the way. The way, the truth, the light. No man may come to the Father but by me. Not and Buddha or Krishna. Trying to save lives. I'm glad that we can just have conversations like that, explore things and our thoughts, and not have it become hostile. That stands to both of us being on the same wavelength about a lot of stuff. Pardon me. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be self-important but have no food. So I know, like, people want to say, well, the Bible, approves of slavery. No. The Bible's given rules for a practice that's been with us forever, because people are terrible and will enslave, and just, again, I don't want to dwell on the bad stuff. People are brutal. They do bad things to other people. So there were ways in which to interact with your slaves and your servants that were appropriate, and where to draw the boundaries and how to treat them well. There's even a practice, we talked about ear piercings and stuff. If a servant who was usually like a debt slave was released from their debt, but they wanted to stay with the family, they could commit to the family. So as a sign, they would pierce their ear with a gold ring, gold stud. And that was like an informal adoption of the family, less a claim of ownership. So it's weird now. Like, I don't know anybody that's got a servant. You know what I mean? Do you? I mean, now it's the gig economy. I'm everybody's servant, right? I'm bringing your food. I'll bring you where you need to go. Bring your packages. But, I mean, how many people have like a live-in servant? And I don't know if there was like distinction in the household, right? Or if it was like everything. Like, you're doing the cooking and the cleaning and the helping with the kids. Or if it was like, oh, you're a servant and this is your job. Either way. An ordinary person with a servant. It makes me chuckle. But the message, I digress. I'm tired. The message remains the same. It's better to have what you need, possibly more than you need if you got a servant and can take care of them, than it is to try to show off wealth that you don't actually have and not be able to pay your bills or feed yourself. A hard worker has plenty of food, but the person who chases fantasies has no sense. I'd like to get a better description of that, right? Because Americans, we're all about dreaming big. But I don't think this is... I don't have the words for this. I don't think it's like a bad thing on having dreams and aspirations and wanting to do novel things, but like, what did that look like in this century that this was written, where somebody chased fantasies? Is this like the wandering sage? Is this, I mean, like, we almost think of this as like the artist and the writer and the poet, like these kind of people. Because not because it's inherently bad, because all of these professions take a lot of work to hone your craft, and hopefully eventually you get a big break. You write a great book and somebody reads it and it gets published, so a lot of people read it, versus just toiling forever, right? I gotta get a better set of footnotes on this, right? Like, I know Strong's has the concordance, but Chase's fantasies, we're gonna look into this. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, the godly well-rooted, and bear their own fruit. If you do your own work, if you're living right, you will bear fruit. You will have what you need. The Lord will see to it. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. That's another one. Hard to hear, right? We're all super independent. Gotta know when to swallow your pride. And here, I'm wiped out. Here, wise counsel. And me, here you go. A fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. You don't need to defend yourself. I know you feel like you need to defend yourself. You can, but don't get heated. Don't get up and point the finger because you're only going to rile everybody up, get ready to fight. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. I responded poorly to the stress, y'all. I let the Hulk out a little bit, and I didn't say anything out of line, but I certainly got loud. And didn't need to respond to that energy with that energy. Could have done a better job of holding my tongue, letting it bounce off of me. Oh, like a tricycle just went by with a huge stereo. So I was like, somebody's pulling in. So, it is what it is. We make mistakes. The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Man, that sounds right. And I don't want to pick on anybody, so I won't. But I will say that one of the best compliments I ever received from somebody was, they basically said that I was very smart and that I didn't let on as such, because I was always willing to ask questions and listen to other people to hear what they had to say. And then if I had something to add or correction, then I would do so. But the person's point was that I never made them feel less than or little or intimidated, because at the time I was in grad school and this was a person that didn't finish high school. And I took that to heart, because that is how I try to act. I'm super nerdy and I want discourse and I want to be accurate. But there's like a time and a place for that, right? And I try to poke the guys in my quad group, or whatever we call it, the guys group for house church, and try to send them stuff. And it's like, fight with me. Tell me awesome. Tell me stupid. Tell me I'm a heretic. Like, can we just have a discussion? That's what I thought grad school was going to be like. And I thought, like, I'm going to be in the ivory tower. Well, my experience was not like that. Well, let's just leave it at that. I had high expectations of how everybody would operate, what my interactions with people would be like. That's on me. Can't blame anybody for your reaction to your own expectations that you've set. Maybe other people have had better experiences at other schools. Maybe it was just me. Work hard, become a leader. Be lazy, become a slave. And I feel like we're all slaves at this point. You gotta work really hard to not be. Worry weighs a person down. An encouraging word cheers a person up. But what are we on? Like 228, 229? I can't even keep track anymore. I just know, like, tonight I was struggling with the phone. I had so little space that it wouldn't even let me move the stuff to another folder so that I could copy it easily to a computer. Instead, no, I had to. It doesn't matter. I figured it out. I freed up some storage space. I'll work more on that tomorrow. And yeah, man, the godly give good advice to their friends. The wicked lead them astray. It would have been really easy for me to just been like, yeah, man, it's all about the vibrations and the energy. But I had to try to set them straight. We even talked about heaven. How boring is heaven going to be, right? We'll be laying around on a cloud with a harp forever. I was like, no, man, you've got the wrong view of heaven. We're created to work. We're all going to have jobs. We're going to have multiple jobs. And the conversation drifted towards something interesting that I'd like to explore theologically. If we're in heaven forever, we have perfected bodies, right? But if we have jobs, let's lose jobs. Let's say me, I continue to study things. Well, do we get better over time? Well, there's no time. Wrapping your head around that might be a lot, right? Because, like, I'll try to explain to him too, like, there's like an eternal version of you, right? So we like to talk about chaos theory and branching and decisions and this, that, and the other. And trying to watch if this guy's coming towards me. And it's like all those things are possible. All the possibilities of you are out there, and everybody else, all the branching reality. But there has to be an eternal version of you, outside of the 3D space. And that's, can it get better? Or perhaps not better? Does it progress? Yeah, it's coming to approach me. So I thought that was interesting, and I don't know, going to explore that a little more with him. I had to get going. He had to cook dinner. Interesting. But I don't know. Anybody got any comments on that? That'd be interesting. What does this dude want from me? I'm on the phone. Came over and put his hands up, like, and he's trying to tell me I'm not armed. It's like, I don't want to say mean either, but what do you need? So I just wanted to see what I'm doing, I guess, and begging for a change. So fortunately, don't have much to offer him. Like I said, it wasn't a good day for work. Not that I get paid in cash. Sorry. Somebody else pulled up over here, so trying to keep my eyes open. It's a lively night. There are like 3 parties in my neighborhood, and normally super quiet. So great. Everybody have a fun Saturday night, but also that means not safe to be on the road here in about an hour. For me, anyway. As the bar is let out on the side of town, it gets crazy. So, lazy people don't even cook the game they catch. The diligent make use of everything they find. I think there's something to be said. There's a meme that goes around. It's like, you don't know how to be poor. And it's like, basically, like, you should be able to take care of the stuff that you have. Find the stuff in the trash that you can refurbish or make better, and then use that to slowly build up what you got. Get better at being poor. And be diligent, because ultimately you can take your nothing and add little somethings and make it better and better over time, and really have something to show for yourself. And that includes skills too, right? So you get a crappy trailer, Well, you got to make it uncrappy. Well, I don't know how to do that. This is what you got to learn. So on and so forth. So the extreme of that is you become a bit of a hoarder. So I try to not do that. I have a lot of projects going on, and nothing worse than throwing something away only to need it the next day. I feel bad. I want to give that guy something, but what am I going to give him? Credit cards? It looks like he's throwing all the change that guy just gave him. And he just flicked all the pennies and stuff all over the parking lot. I do not understand people. I don't know what that guy was looking at either. It's like I try to roll with a relatively clean car. It's like, you want some empty water bottles? I drink a lot of them. Alright. I'm going to go home, I guess. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm in a funky mood. I don't know if I can recover it. I don't know how busy work is. I guess I can take a drive in and go see that. It's about the same distance either way at this point. But if I stay out too late, like getting up for church and to cook everybody breakfast in a few short hours is going to be brutal. Decisions. The way of the godly leads to life. That path does not lead to death. Man, I really hope so. You know, we talked today about reincarnation, dharma, and karma. It's like dharma and karma are, I would say, biblical principles, but karma is dependent on reincarnation. However, if you looked at it as the works of judgment that determine your future. And I get the appeal. It's like, oh, I was bad in this life. I got to go down. Or I got to go back around on the wheel. Because we talked about Norse mythology too as well. And it's like you could go higher or lower, you know, in the realms. If we're in Midgard, or you could go lower, and you might have been a bad person here that took advantage of good people, but now there are no good people to take advantage of. And you're going to get taken advantage of. Or whatever the next higher stage looks like for us. You've heard me say a lot of times on here, I think it's more like, it's going to be like, Star Wars is still a bad analogy, even though James was hilarious for that. Because there was still violence and the dark side and stuff like that. And there's not going to be a dark side anymore. So if we're studying the new heaven and the new earth and enjoying that forever, do our perspectives change? Trying to wrap my mind around it, right? Like, if we have a perfected body, I can't say with certain that we have a perfected spirit or mind. I just know that there won't be any tears, there won't be any sorrow, there won't be any reason for it. And then he asked about hell, and it was like, look, man, it's like the parable of Lazarus. Like, no, you're not going to be sad in heaven because you're going to be able to understand God's plan and ultimate reality, how all these things unfold, what things were just, you know, how it was served. So the people that are in hell, even if we can see them down there, we won't be sad because we will understand that there's nothing that we could have done to change that. And that they chose to be there, you know, like C.S. Lewis says, the gates of hell are locked from the inside. Because maybe we're all over the board. I love conversations like that with my homie. We were talking about spirits and familiar spirits and demons and people who communicate, or a person who communicates with friendly demons. And I was telling her about casting out demons and Not only that, but you have to be spirit-filled, or Jesus said that the house would be swept and in order, and that the demon would come back with 7 worse than itself. So you're going to get more possessed if you're not getting filled with the Spirit. Demonized, right? You can't say possessed is the wrong word. I'll draw some fire on that one. But I'm surprised even people who claim to be Christian often don't know what Christ said about himself. That he claimed, that he said he was God. That's what we got to tell our friends. We got to tell everybody, man. Time is getting short here. If not for us as a people and a planet, for me, for my homie, we're going to be big 4-0 this year, a couple of months apart. Still feel like I'm 4 most days, you know what I mean? So take it with a grain of salt. I feel like I've rambled an awful lot tonight. I apologize if there's anybody that watches this. Just in a heavy mood. I'm really tired. I'm going to go continue to work because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And because, man, those burgers were pretty good, but at the same time, like, man, dinner for 5 is expensive. So, go with God, be blessed, and I'll be praying for my subscribers and viewers, as silly as that is. You'll be on my mind tomorrow as I run through everything on my heart, and we pray at house church. Also, Perseid meteor shower tonight and tomorrow night. Get out and look at the sky.